Hey everyone! So, I've been doing this thing where everything I do that is mundane, and I've just been really consciously setting the intention of what it's for. So now every live stream, I set the intention. So I'm setting the intention for this live stream that all the magical people out there will receive this. Either they'll watch it live or watch the replay, and they'll find it when they're ready to. This important message that came through this morning for myself and for many other people, including you. And that is, wherever you go, you bring the magic. Wherever you go, you bring the magic. And this is something that has been coming in so strong for the collective right now. We are our own godly self. Like, we are the gods that are descending on this planet to help with the reascension of this planet. By us just being here, by us just being present, recognizing our powerful selves, recognizing our magic within, we bring the magic wherever we go. By us just walking our dog down the street, we are activating the land beneath us, the land that our feet are stepping on, to hold that magic, to hold that presence. We're activating all the rivers, the creeks, the lakes, the oceans, the forests, the mountains, the houses, the people, the animals around us. We're activating them to such a level that it activates the magic within them, but your energy signature allows, it kind of gives permission to step into their magical self. And I feel like this is something that we forget about, that we have to do a live stream, and we have to post, and we have to send emails, we have to do these like mundane, doesn't perceive as magical things. And by us just coming back to center, by us just doing something that allows us to recognize the magic within us, whether it's doing a quantum realm visitation, a parallel realm visitation, a meditation, maybe it's just sitting there and remembering all of the miraculous and magical things in your life, that alone, you sitting there remembering your magic, activates the whole planet in itself. And we're getting to a point in time where we don't need to do these intense or otherworldly activities to make an impact. Like, they're amazing, but like, we don't need to go on retreats all the time, and we don't need to hold intention circles or goddess circles, or we don't need to have this next level session or do this next level program all the time. By us just simply sitting there, remembering our magic, recognizing our power, it activates the whole planet, and it gives every single person and being around us permission to do the same. And I was talking to a client in a session that we just did, and it was their last Dancing with Dragons session, and it's basically just an integration session. And it's usually a dragon session, right? And we're doing the session, this person's magical, but like lions come in, and Pegasus and unicorns and dragons were there, but then all these like goddess and gods were coming in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so magical. And then she goes on saying that the house that she moved into, there's a forest behind the house, and she was like, I honestly think I brought magic to the forest. I'm like, duh, you did. Like, every single person watching this, whether it's live or watching the replay, wherever you go, you're giving permission for the magic to come there. So when you move to a house and there's a forest or a creek or an ocean or a lake or whatever, there's something near it, you're giving that permission to be a magical portal again. Like, forests and oceans and lakes, they're all magical portals into different realms. And so you're giving that forest the permission to remember how magical it is, or your coworkers or your family or your colleagues. Like, I don't know how many times I've gone to like a family get together and they're so mundane, and then all of a sudden we're talking about, I was saying, all of a sudden we're like sitting around a campfire talking about witchcraft and fairies and dragons, and we're pulling oracle cards, and Tyler always says to me, he's like, I don't know how you did it. Like, these people are like the least magical people. And I'm like, no, they're not. They've just forgotten how magical they were. And by me being here, by me just being myself, unfiltered, just talking about this, it gives them permission to also engage in it. And it was so funny because I've seen this so many times today. So it was like in that client session, I also had a conversation with my dad today. So my dad called me. And he was like, oh my God, and my dad, I love him. He called me today, and he's not like fully in this magical world. He knows what I do, but doesn't like fully understand it completely. I don't think. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But he called me, and this is like the other occurrence. So he called me and was like, I just met this most magical man ever. I had a 7-hour conversation with him at their golf club, and he was like, now I understand like how magical this earth is, and like how magical the things you do, and it was so amazing because that man to my dad was a mirror of how magical my dad is. Like, it happens in this whole universe. Like, me to my client today, I get to mirror how magical she is, and we brought that into the container. And all of my programs, I get to show people how magical the earth is and how magical you are and all the things around you. Like, I can be sitting in traffic and I'm looking around and like, oh my God, this world is so magical, because I see dragons in the sky and I see fairies in the grass on the side of the road, and I see people's familiars like sitting in their car with them, and I see dragons wrapped around people, hugging them all the time. And it's so, like, the way I see the world, I see you as your higher self. I see you as your godly self. And that alone, and by you guys doing this as well, by you seeing people as their higher self and seeing yourself as your most powerful being, by simply just doing that, you are giving every single person around you permission to do the same. So like for my dad, that man was able to show my dad how magical everything was in a way that he could understand it. Because we're not made for everyone, right? Everyone needs to have that perfect mirror that really shows them that. And so that was his perfect magical mirror, and that made me so happy. And that's what I wanted to come on and talk about, is like, we don't need to do these crazy next level things all the time. Just simply remembering who we are and how magical we are, and then putting on those magical glasses, those goggles, and seeing the whole earth like that. Like, I don't see a disgusting concrete jungle. I don't see people being snobby or rude or uptight or racist or sexist. I always just see their higher self and how magical they are. And yeah, I can get a sense of what their conscious character is right now, but I never when I'm interacting with people, I never interact with their conscious character if it isn't of the highest love and light. I constantly interact with their higher self, the most magical part of them. And by me setting that intention, like I said in the beginning of the live stream, mundane things need to be more intentional now. So every live stream now, I set the intention of what the message is and who's supposed to see it, and whenever they're ready to see it, they'll see it. Same thing with conversations. When we're talking to muggle people or mundane people, it's really easy for our vibration to drop down, but for us to just see their magical self, unfiltered, just their whole godly self, it raises their vibration. And that is so powerful. And if we can all do that, this world, everyone would have their magical goggles on and be seeing dragons flying everywhere and unicorns running in forests and fairies dancing in gardens. And for some people, I probably sound like I'm on drugs. But I don't care, because my life is so good because of that. My life is so magical. I don't have shitty days. And if I do, then it's usually because my vibration drops and I just raise it again. I look at how beautiful and miraculous it was. And so what the whole message is of this is that don't think you're not doing enough. Don't think you're not magical enough. But you simply just recognizing the magic in yourself and other people, you're doing this planet a huge favor. That's like amazing. So that's kind of like what I do every day, is just see the magic within everything, and it comes back to me times 1,000 through miracles and magic and everything. And something I did want to speak about is that you want to make sure that your magic is being seen. So you want to make sure that all the interference or the implants or anything that's trying to tame you, stop you, prevent you from sharing your message, you want to make sure that it's cleared. You want to make sure that any energies and frequencies that are trying to stop your message from getting to the right people do not exist. Because yes, seeing the magic within us and within everyone else is so much, but we see the interference of people trying to stop us through like social media algorithms. So like what post do you see? Social media, they have an algorithm that there's this power where they can sense that someone is sharing a message that they don't want other people to hear. So as I'm sharing like find your magic within and this whole world will change, the people on the other side, they don't want you to find your magic. That other force, that other side of the spectrum does not want you to find your magic, does not want you to share your magic with other people. It wants you to stay mundane. It wants you to stay forgotten. It wants you to stay quiet. And that is where we see implants and interference and frequencies that are interfering with our energy. So we want to make sure we clear that. And I created this 2-hour class to do that, where I'm going to be teaching you how to clear out any energetic implants that they might put, like spyware implants that they might put in your energy or in your home, or any interference. So if you've been like sharing your message lately and you feel like the biggest thing that you can see is like you lose engagement. So if your social media hasn't been at the engagement you want, you probably have an implant and an interference in your energy field. That's like the biggest number one thing to look at. So if you find that your engagement has gone down or you're not at the level you want to be, it's really good to clear out the implants and interference that the other side will put. And so I created this 2-hour class that teaches you how to do this, so you can go out as soon as the class is done. You can go out and do it yourself, and you can teach other people how to do it. You can share the wealth, and it's a 2-hour class for $44. I started clearing all the implants in my home, in my energy field. There's also like energetic parasites that can come up. And so by me just clearing that, the people who need to see my shit now will see my shit. I see so many people out there that are like putting so many magical things out there and they're not getting engagement. And it's because the other side does not want you to get engagement. The other side does not want you to become worldwide, international, out there. Because if you share your message, everyone else is going to see the magic, just like we were talking about. And then it's a ripple effect. And the other side does not want that. They want everyone to stay forgotten. They want everyone to stay quiet. So if you're not going to be quiet like myself, I'm very not quiet. 2-hour class, $44. I'm going to clear the whole container of it and teach you how to do it yourself. And you have the class for life. So if you're not super confident in your clearing abilities with that kind of energy, you can always go back and get the collective clearing that I'll be doing until you build up that confidence. So you have that class for life. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share. You are magic. You bring the magic everywhere. I love you. I love you guys so much.